My Kind of Party was written by country songwriter and artist Brantley Gilbert, who also originally recorded the song. Shortly after that, Jason Aldean put it on his record and made it a huge hit. The song's a dream for lead guitar players who like to solo. There's two solos in the song that we've tabbed out, one right in the middle and then a lengthy solo at the end of the song. Rhythm guitar players will put a capo on the first fret so we can use key of D chords. We only need to know 4 chords and 1 strum pattern to get through the whole tune.
A jacked up TV, sitting around watching all of these pretty things.
To play My Kind of Party on the acoustic guitar, we just need to know 4 chords and really 1 strum pattern to get us through the whole song. Let's start by capoing up to the first fret so we can use key of D chords. The first chord we'll need is a B minor. So we've got our pointer finger covering the 2nd fret. It's also going to kind of mute this low E string, but then we've got 2nd fret of the A string. Then we'll come over that with our ring finger on the 4th fret above the capo, pinky finger behind that, middle finger on the 3rd fret above the capo, and then our pointer finger is also covering the 2nd fret of this high E string. I know bar chords are tricky, and don't let yourself get caught up on it. The first thing to focus on is just making sure you can get your fingers in the right place and get your strum pattern consistent when you're transitioning into and out of the B minor chord. If all the notes aren't ringing out right at first, like I said, don't get hung up on that. If you practice it enough and just make sure you're getting your fingers there in time, eventually your fingers will figure out how to get each note to ring out. Then we're going to go to a D2. I reach around with my thumb and I mute this low E string and the A string. That's just comfortable for me, and that way if I nick these strings with my pick, they don't ring out. But if that feels odd, you don't need to reach around with your thumb, because all we need is this open D string, 2nd fret of G, 3rd fret of B, and open high. So let's go through that progression again. Down, down, up, mute, mute, down, down, up, mute, mute, down. To the D2, down, down, up, mute, mute, down, down, up, mute, mute, down. And of course, when you're on the D2, you've got open strings, so those aren't going to be muted, and that's totally fine. You're still getting that muted sound from this G string and this B string, and that's contributing to the sound that we want during the strumming. So one more time on the D2, down, down, up, mute, mute, down, down, up, mute, mute, down. Then we go to the A, down, down, up, mute, mute, down, down, up, mute, mute, down. Then when we get to the G, we're just going to use downstrokes. Down, 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 down. And you'll notice when I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, to play the lead guitar for My Kind of Party along with the record, you'll have to get your guitar into E-flat standard tuning. There's a tutorial at the beginning of this lesson that will help you do that. So once you're there, G chord should sound like this. The reason we have to be in E-flat standard is because this intro lick has this open E droning throughout the entire riff. And it just doesn't sound right unless you got that open E string ringing out on top of what we're doing. So let's look nice and slow at this riff here. We've got our pinky finger on the 12th fret of B. We're going to slide up 2 frets, back down again. So we're playing the B. All right, this tutorial is going to cover the bridge solo, and we'll learn the outro solo in the next tutorial. I'll play through it once, nice and slow, but in tempo. Then we'll go through it note by note, and then we'll play it at full speed along with the metronome. Here's how it sounds. All right, so we're going to start with a bend. Pointer finger is going to be on the 9th fret of B. Then we've got ring finger on 11th fret of G. All right, the outro solo on the lead guitar is definitely a little bit more on the advanced side. So if you haven't done a lot of soloing, this might be a little bit frustrating for you. But if you've got the time and you've got some patience, give it a shot. You're bound to get at least a couple of licks out of here that you can incorporate into your playing. On the recording, you'll hear that it's kind of a guitar battle. So Jason Aldean has 2 lead guitarists, and the first one would play some licks and then hold the lick out, and then the second guitar player would come in and he'd play some licks, and they'd go back and forth till the end of the solo. So sometimes you could hear guitar player 1 holding a note out, and lead guitar player 2 would come in with his lick. And so I did my best to smooth out the solo so that you can play this with just one person and it will sound very natural. I'll play through the whole solo one time, nice and slow, but in tempo. Then we'll go through it all note by note, and we're going to break it up into 3 different sections, and then we'll play the whole thing at full speed along with the metronome. So here's how the whole outro solo sounds.